Hey everybody, before we get into Thrones of Game, we just wanted to tell you about our new podcast project, Pulp Fury Radio, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
That's right, Pulp Fury Radio. It's our new scripted podcast project where we take the aesthetics of old radio and pair them with modern stories across a range of genres like sci-fi, horror, fantasy, mystery, and noir.
Our second episode is a murder mystery aboard a speeding train called The Last Known Sighting of Irma Strauss.
Go subscribe now to Pulp Fury Radio on your podcast app and check us out on the socials at Pulp Fury Radio.
All right, now let's do Thrones of Game.
Yeah.
Hello out there, you survivors of the plague. Welcome to Thrones of Game, the Game of Thrones podcast that dares to watch the series backwards. If you've been living at home and under a rock and never heard the show before, well, let me introduce you there, friend. My name is BT Calloway. I've already seen the entire show, but joining me is Elliot Jay O'Neill, who had never watched a single episode until we started watching in reverse order. Elliot, how are you?
Pretty sleep deprived, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you've had like a wild couple of days. It's living post-apocalypse is some wild stuff.
Yeah, if I wasn't sleep deprived from all the editing of Pulp Fury at the moment, then I just had to go out on a lovely bender the other night. But you know what? Powering through it. Gonna bring some fun energy today.
I appreciate it, you little champ, you. Yes, we just watched Season 4, Episode 6, Law & Order Westeros. Dun, dun. No, actually, The Laws of Gods and Men. Elliot, what just happened?
Just...
You got some schmutz?
No, I'm just dusting off an old bit.
You got me. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know what you were doing there.
Oh,
Zing.
man, what an episode to fucking watch when I'm really craving sleep right now.
Yeah, this is definitely one that was setting up a lot of stuff we saw in the last one. It's a bridge between, more exciting parts, which is, necessary in the storytelling world, but...
And just as exciting as watching a bridge being built.
Delightful. For those of you playing at home, this is the one where Shay shows up to Tyrion's trial and basically betrays him hardcore, and that's about it. Some other stuff happens, which we will talk about now. Like, what was your MVP, Elliot?
I don't care.
What was your least boring part? Or most boring part? If you want to rag on it, go for it.
Man, no, this was all just fairly boring. Like, even my favorite characters like Davos and Varys and stuff, their scenes were rather dull.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed their dialogue, but if you're a little sleepy, this is going to be a slog and a half.
Yeah, what's your MVP? Give me something to bounce off.
All right, well, let's see. Where's my MVP? I do like the guy who plays Reek just sniveling so well. You believe he's a broken dude, and later on, this is where, Yara and the Ironborn, which is also a decent band name, they rock up to try and save him, but he's just, so locked into being Reek that he can't get out, and then Ramsay Snow gives him a bath, and it's that he kind of, disrobes and just how cut up and just destroyed his body is. And you're like, oh, dude, I feel so bad for you. He's such a broken dude.
And he's one of the eunuchs, isn't he?
He is now.
Oh, so part of his lashings as well was...
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, yeah, because... fucking creepy-ass Ramsay seemed especially pleased to see him take off his breeches.
Yeah, again, the dude who plays Ramsay Snow is creepy as fuck and fantastic at it, and I hate him. Just, even there's a bit where he's like squeezing out a washcloth, and even that is creepy and intimidating.
It just went for so long as well. They just drew every uncomfortable second out of that scene.
Yeah, but point being, Reek is very good at being sniveling and defeated.
Well, I could give an MVP to Yara because, yeah, she was flying around and kicking ass and, had to make the bold, tough decision at the end. And yeah. And I haven't seen her in a while. It was nice to catch up with Yara again. Yeah,
this scene it's good because it is the only real bit of action in this episode, but it's also kind of brief and pointless, like... How do they even get away? There's a point where Yara's, Ramsay Snow's like, oh, well, how quickly can you run? Because I'm ever so creepy and I'm going to unlock the dog cages. And so they're being chased by dogs, and surely they have guards at the gate they ran out of. It's just, how did she even get away? But okay, fine, she lives to fight another day. It's just weird to have two main characters show up in combat and both of them walk away.
I do think it is odd that Ramsay didn't, take care of those loose ends.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be like, well, you're here now. I'm not going to give you a fighting chance. I'm just going to flay you alive.
Yes, this person who, I brainwashed your brother, but you know what? You go run along now.
Oh, I know what you were doing. You killed some of our guys. We killed some of your guys. It's all even in the wash. Just get out of here, you crazy kids. Yeah, a bit weird.
I'll just release one hound.
We'll give you a fighting chance. Ooh, you might make it. It'll be exciting. Yeah, cut to her on a boat. Oh, no. Okay, it wasn't that exciting. Yeah, my other potential MVP, I do actually quite like Oberon and Varys talking together. I would watch that show. That's a great odd couple because, Oberon's all like, well, I go around the world and I fuck whoever I like. What about you, Varys? I think you like boys. He's like, no. Oh, you like girls? No, I didn't like anything. He's like, oh, come on. He's like, he has a good line of the absence of desire leaves one free to pursue other things and gives the Iron Throne like a nice look. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I like that ending way better. Varys winning the whole game? Yes, that guy is awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because the Iron Throne, obviously being the game of, seemed to be a lot more important in the earlier episodes. And not that I've seen them, but in terms of how iconic it is. So it must have been a lot more prevalent because it's just not fucking there in all the other episodes that I've seen.
Yeah, especially the first 4 seasons, it's a big focus. And there's even, products you can buy and phone rests you can put your phone on and little Funko Pops of just the throne.
I don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast, but yeah, I go skiing quite a lot. And one of the funny things about, skiing and chairlifts is when you drop something on a chairlift, you're probably not getting it back.
Yep.
And, people running the ski lifts, they make collections of things. And this one year, the fucking geniuses had set up basically a snow iron throne with ski poles hanging out of it.
Nice.
All the dropped ski poles over the years. But it also ended up being a good station. Oh, did you lose your ski pole? Go check the Iron Throne. And sure enough, we'll probably be there.
Ski pole throne. Yeah, so that was my other potential. My other MVP was going to be Tyrion's confession. But given that Peter Dinklage wins MVP a bunch, I'm going to kind of just consider him a non-contender for this.
Yeah, all the framed pictures on our wall of the MVPs. It's mostly him.
It's give someone else a fighting chance. So,
literally, he's dwarfing everybody else.
Ooh, zing. Well, he's on trial for being mean. A dwarf.
But yeah, a little bit of an MVP for Varys for asexual representation, I guess, as well.
Just their dynamic of back and forth. This, both of them worldly men, but in very different ways. I like that contrast, and it's interesting. And they're also being very intelligent. There's a bit where, Oberon's all like, "Oh, where's your accent from?" He picks it exactly, and Varys is like almost insulted. He's like, "No, I've lost my accent entirely." He's like, "Oh, that gives you away." It's like,
yeah,
it was a charming back and forth. I was like, I could watch more of these guys just hanging out, doing stuff.
No, I'm getting forward to seeing more of this dude. I thought he was great in The Mandalorian, and I'll figure out a way to fuse his name with that one. And
okay, so new theory. After Game of Thrones, where he gets his head pulverized, they put his head back together, but that's why he wears a mask in The Mandalorian, to disguise his horribly destroyed face.
It's so funny, spoilers for The Mandalorian, but when they do pull his mask off, it's like, oh my god, it's an incredibly attractive yet very sweaty person.
Yeah, that's what masks do. They make you very sweaty.
It's shocking. Oh my god, no. My face is basically a prune right now. I'm so sweaty.
It's like in Ready Player One, where that girl has one little, birthmark stain on her face. Like, oh, I'm so hideous. Like, oh no, you're otherwise conventionally attractive and into suit video games and very cool. Whatever will we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird times. Anyway, moving on to nudity.
There was a little bit.
There was a bit of nudity. So it's also a scene I quite like. So this is where Sir Davos kind of wanders in to talk to this pirate guy, and he's telling a story about a joke, and it's bring me my brown pants. It's a good joke. I like it. And yes, and I should mention the nudity. He's in a bathhouse, and there are just boobs and butts all about.
Yeah. Wait, where does this lead? Because I don't see him again.
I cannot remember. Yeah, it feels like. I think it's just implied that's how they get to the wall, by sailing, I guess. That must be it, but yeah, you're right. I can't remember seeing that guy again, or even them on ships in any meaningful way.
Yeah, because he was a new character. I wrote down my preemptive, hey, dead guy.
But does he? I don't remember. I mean, it's entirely possible by the time he dies we forgot who he was, but the next time we see, Stannis Baratheon, he's pretty sure he's way up north and heading into Castle Black.
Yeah.
So I guess the implication is they sailed back with these guys. And that was just all off screen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got a nice story out of it. That was okay, I guess.
Just, they had to make room for more fucking courtroom drama.
Yeah. Dun dun.
Which this episode had 2 of.
Well, it starts with, Sir Davos and Stannis Baratheon just waiting for enough time for me to go, this is a really nice set. How much of this they have to build and how much of it was just there? 'Cause those chairs are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's that thing of, I know the scene is meant to be kind of boring. It's meant to be talking about Stannis, impatience with all this. But at the same time, it's like, if the characters are bored, I'm bored.
Yeah.
This is not entertaining for me to watch. And then, it has a little discussion with Mycroft Holmes from another series about the Iron Bank and money and stuff and blood and gold and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, like, I know every episode doesn't need to be an event and you got to build up to the events and stuff, but, I mean, I guess the courtroom scene would have held a bit more weight, but, I mean, in comparison, all the other ones, like, yeah, just, this was a bit of a tedious one. Yeah,
I will say, I feel like Tyrion's courtroom scene had a bit more in the forward watch, obviously, because you don't really know who Shay is other than a woman who gets strangled in bed.
Yeah. Like, I'm ragging on this episode, but I did quite like all the Tyrion courtroom stuff.
Yeah, it's just, we're vaguely chronological sometimes for a Renegade podcast, pew, pew, pew. So we'll just kind of keep, just so we can get through the other notes before we get to the actually eventful stuff.
Oh, well, how about the other courtroom drama, the new show that I'm calling Judge Brady?
Oh, yes.
The people are real. They're mostly slaves. They used to be slaves. The dragons are real.
Mm-hmm. Her decisions are final.
This
Judge Brady
is Judge Brady.
I don't know what him theme music is, so it's just Law and Order now. Everything is Law and Order. Yeah, I mean, it's good where, some guy's like, your dragons roasted my goats. And she's like, I'll pay you 3 times what they're worth. I'm like, cool, they're going to roast so many more goats, and I'm going to get so much more. Insurance scam. Fuck yeah.
That was exactly my first thought.
Yeah.
The guy, originally looked so mournful. The life of a goat. I am going to get so many more lives of the goat.
Oh my gosh, it's going to just happen every day. Yeah, but then we got a pretty interesting bit where one guy who's, Daenerys has come in and grabbed all the old masters and crucified them all, and in doing so has taken some people who didn't necessarily deserve it, and there's this one guy who's like, he was opposed to slavery, even though he did own some, and you've now got him pinned up with a bunch of other people rotting in the sun, and I do like his line of, I can't forgive the past, but I can ask, plead for this for you as a man who loved his father. Fuck, I fucked that up entirely. Keep moving. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not that interested in this dude either. Like, I found all of him and Daenerys' scenes to be the exact same fucking carbon copy of each other. And, I just find myself being bored by Daenerys' whole fucking through line in this show.
Oh, yeah, there's an old saying, nothing is happening in Bravos. So, but no, I mean, this was... At the beginning of this, it was like, this is when he had potential to be an interesting character, because this, from memory, is his first introduction. Like, oh, where's this going to go? I didn't expect to see him again. And then he shows up a bit more, and he's just kind of boring. But then he's kind of meant to be boring when she decides she's going to marry him and go with the allegiances, and allegiances are boring sometimes. You have your exciting lovers and your boring partners.
Well, the interesting scenes where he, is mostly doing talking with Daenerys, to me, were the ones where they were talking about, the politics and the way they were running the places, and especially with the fight pits and stuff. And, and his conversations with Tyrion as well. I don't know, just season 4 and 5 stuff has been really, tedious.
Yeah. When he's questioning, her motivations, because it's all based on her perspective, and it's like, what if you had a different perspective? You would think of this differently, and that's okay-ish. It's just, nothing really becomes of it. I'm pretty sure he gets murdered at some point. I don't remember when. It's pretty. To be fair, it's pretty safe to say of any character, I'm sure they get murdered at some point. So, a little bit of nudity. We also see Miranda getting off on top of Ramsay Snow.
Yep.
She doesn't do anything else. She doesn't give us any of that ever so creepy vibes she usually does. So,
gives Ramsay a big old choke though.
Yep. Okay.
And it was one of those things that when he appeared in the next scene, with daggers out, blood all over him, like, wait, was this still part of that, or did you probably killed some people, but still
killed some people on the way?
Would not be surprised if that was also anyway.
Yeah, he's a little too superhuman at this point, because the ensuing fight scene, then it's like hard to see what's going on or why he's so good with just 2 daggers and no shirt compared to these guys with armor and shields.
Yeah, I actually I forgot to say before, is this the violence? Did we ask violence already?
Technically I was getting to it next, but violence!
This scene. So I was actually kind of disappointed because I thought you'd get like some real interesting corridor fighting stuff here, but nah.
Yeah, and that could have helped explain it. You know, these guys are trying to pull out a longsword in the middle of a tight corridor, and Ramsay's got his daggers and just takes advantage of that. Or, you know, have him fighting dirty, or just, you know, something to explain why this guy without a shirt is better than guys in chainmail, you know?
Yeah, because it seemed like he stabbed a dude, which, assuming would be the, you know, death stab.
Yeah.
And then, he was back to, they were fighting. Anyway, I just thought it wasn't that great.
No, it's like you just get a bunch of, you know, I don't know, plastic toys, and you just kind of bump them together, and you're like, they're fighting. Like, I couldn't really tell what was going on in any of the fight scenes. I just knew death was happening, and that's about it. And this isn't one of those so confusing, so you try to explain, represent that the confusion of battle to an audience. It was just not terribly well shot, and it was a tight room, I guess, but, you know, use that, choreograph that, work with what you have to explain with what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, would be my take, you know, with all the nothing that I've ever directed. Except for audio. Listen to Pop Viewer Radio. Anyway, I think it was my only bit of violence on this one.
Yup.
Yeah. The rest is all law and order. Do. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Just trying to see if I've got any other bits. Oberon on the small council is kind of funny because he's just sitting there, feet up, being the cool kid, and everyone else is all listening to Tywin. And yep. Man, yeah, we've gone through so much in so little.
Jaime's scars seem pretty inconsistent, by the way. Like, so do Tyrion's, but I've crapped on about that. Yeah. But Jaime's scars from this and the last episode are fucking not the same.
Yeah, nah, they're not.
Anyway, that's my bitching.
Yeah, I did want to say there's a bit where Tyrion's all like, well, dragons haven't won a war in 300 years. And I like that as a explanation of how they're so unprepared for when dragons enter the battlefield. You know, they didn't even consider it a threat because it was just, it's not even a thing, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, they completely wrecked us in 10 seconds. Yeah. But that is all my notes before Law and Order. So let's just get into that. Law and Order. Yeah. Tyrion is not just disheveled in this one. He's actually still in his nice, you know, clothes and everything. Later on, he's in rags. I thought it was an interesting contrast. Like, they just took his nice clothes away from him for some reason, I guess. Like, off screen.
Can't have nice things when you're waiting for trial by combat.
I guess. All right, fine, whatever.
You surrender those rights when if you call for trial by combat, you can no longer wear nice things.
It's like it's in our constitution for some reason. Who knows why, but I'll defend it to the death.
In a constitution that allows for trial by combat to prove guilt or not guilt.
Yeah.
Innocence. That's the one.
Not guilt. Innocence. Whatever. We get an appearance from Stabface, who I realize now is much bigger part of this show until he gets stabbed in the face by Arya later. Didn't realize that on the forward watch. He was just some dude who got stabbed in the face. Tywin Lannister and Jim Jam Lannister have a good old back and forth where there's a window of opportunity for Tyrion to survive this, and I like that. It's a moment of, okay, this is where all that kind of backroom scheming makes sense and works out.
Yeah, and so, you as the audience are hoping that Tyrion will just go along with this, which makes the ending that much more surprising.
Yeah, because it's all like, okay, this is how he's going to survive and how he's going to continue on and blah, blah, blah. And then Shay walks in and, devastating.
Yeah. I mean, because even with the backwards watch, you know, I didn't know that the trial by combat would be Tyrion's call, and, you know, way to surprise me in a backwards watch show.
Yeah, for sure, because he was... When he had the trial by combat, he's like, well, how am I going to do this? I need a champion. Bron's not up to it. No one's really taking his side. He's like, I could do it myself and get cleft in twain immediately. But no, there's a bit I think we both got to laugh at where, you know, Tywin and Jim Jam are talking, and they agree that if Tywin sentences Tyrion to go to the wall for his sentence, then Jim Jam Lannister will become a Lannister again and not a member of the Kingsguard and father children. And you will father children, you will call them Lannister. And we both got a little chuckle at that, thinking of kids named Lannister.
Well, not just one, but you'll have children and they will be named Lannister. It's just multiple children, all Lannister.
All Lannister, all the way down. Yeah. Lannister. No, not you. Other Lannister. No, Lannister. God, why do we have 7 of them?
'Twas father's decree.
7 Lannisters, all named Lannister.
Well, that's it. When Tyrion called for trial by combat, Jaime was just, oh, thank fuck. I can call the child Ned.
For something else.
Oh, damn it. Ned is a person in the show. I was like, what's a very boring non-Game of Thrones name?
Tim.
There probably is.
Hello, I'm Tim Lannister. Yeah, Timothy would be out there, surely. All right, fine. Jeff Lannister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had a fun part where I realized that between the taller Jim Jam Lannister and the shorter Come on. Tyrion Lannister, there it is.
Who's sleep deprived now?
I'm just stupid. Between Jim Jan and Tyrion Lannister, we basically have super Lannister bros, where one's tall, one's short, one's, the brains of the operation, one hits turtles with his head. I don't know. This was not a complete metaphor.
Damn it, when Jamie was breaking him out, if he said, let's it go, I would have lost my shit.
I'm going to be looking for it as we go on. They're both obsessed with like collecting gold coins and princesses, and it's there. I can work with this, I think.
Just Terry walking into a room. It's a me. I can't do a Peter Dinklage accent.
No, it's very bassy and a little bit proper, but sort of not proper.
Really, like, any preconceived notions I had about, people's height being relative to their vocal pitch. My God.
Thrown out entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to Dinklage.
The resonance on that man. Oh, delicious.
Like, where is his resonance chamber? Is his entire body just hollow? And that's how he does it? I don't know. I'm curious. So then we've got Shay, who's all in, is just like, I was his whore, blah, blah, blah. I do like a bit where Baron von Munchausen is there, and Shay is all like, because she's got an accent, is like, I was his whore. It's like, I'm sorry, what were you? His whore. His hall? What does that? No, his whore. His door. I don't. Whore. What are you, a pigeon?
As a woke person, I was hoping it'd go the other way, where he'd go, his what? Whore? No, his what? Whore. Sex work. Oh, no, his sex worker.
Yes. Wokeness does not exist.
Game of woke.
Game of woke. There's a weird show. I mean, I've had Apathy of Thrones, where no one just gives a shit, and it's all peaceful because no one cares.
Yeah.
Again, just saying, the right kind of apathy can save the world. When people's like, should I invade them? No, that sounds hard. I'm going to not do that.
It's a series that can go on forever because none of the characters will die.
Yeah, they'll just be hanging out. Doing stuff.
Except of old age.
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually. Death, you endless killer. Yes. I do like when, Shay's like, I was his whore, and Oberon's like, ooh, details, please, girl. Woo!
Yeah.
That was fun. But yeah, then Tyrion has his big confession of, I am on trial for being a dwarf, and blah, blah, blah. And it was a good bit, but I didn't have anything to write down about. It's all just Dinklage delivery.
Yeah, no, the seethingness of his performance was wonderful.
Yeah, where he's clearly just had enough.
Yeah.
And I do really like that. And now he's kind of lost Shay, so he's lost the one thing that he thought was good in this world. Yeah. And I think seething is the right word for it. He's just like, nope, fuck it, gonna flip this table and all of you off at the same time.
Just went with Dillinger escape plan. Dinklage escape plan.
There we go.
There we go.
Episode title.
Yay.
But yeah, man, I'm out of notes. How about you?
I'm done.
Yeah, I was like even worried I was talking too much, but now this is what I've got on this episode. All right. I keep forgetting fuck watch to try and find something in where someone says fuck in an interesting way with the various accents.
We'll keep an eye out for next time.
Yeah, for next time. Well, before then, we have to ask our final question. How did we get here?
Well, apparently the next episode is called First of His Name.
Yeah.
So this isn't Daenerys who claims the first of her name title, the her pronoun. Mm-hmm. So, actually, didn't little blonde dickhead call himself first of his name?
Tommen.
All right, we're going to see him become king, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it.
Yeah, no joke answer today, sorry. I just went the logical route. I was actually really excited to figure that one out, to be honest.
I mean, you could still do it anyway.
First of his name. There's going to be a person named De Quenchen a Kent.
Oh, yeah. So that was the other thing I wanted to, when they were doing the whole, speaking with Daenerys thing, ever since you pointed it out, I keep every low Valyrian that gets spoken, I just hear mishmash to cumbash.
Yeah.
So thanks for putting that in my head forever. Actually,
I did make myself chuckle in the episode by writing Trial by Cumbash.
God damn, it is permanent now. It's there forever. Yeah, well, we'll find out on then, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry this wasn't more exciting, but this is the episode we had to deal with.
We give you what we get given. Oh my God, I need to go sleep.
You really do. It's almost like, hearing a battery-operated toy slowly wind down. So,
and until next time, I've been your co-host.
Elliot, I thought you just got that.
Goodbye!
And I've been BT Calloway, and for now, our watch is in.